I do appreciate the festive holiday gear. Is that 101 Dalmatians?
It's a knockoff. We'll get into it. Let's have a conversation about it.
It's a knockoff. Look at this. We are live inside the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue, recording two different podcast performances right here on the showroom floor in a brand new Mazda CX-5. You know, Mazda's reimagined the combustion engine with SkyActiv technology. Gillian McGhee of Hi Ho.
Hi.
The CX-5 includes the SkyActiv turbo engine and the iActiv all-wheel drive. Those are standard. 2019 CX-5s. Really awesome new features available right now at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. I love the tech. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay integration. That's what we're all looking for, let's be honest. And if safety's your thing, you're going to love the 360 view monitor. The Autobarn Mazda of Evanston's offers make it easy for you to get yourself in a CX-5 like the one we're in right now. Up to $2,000 customer cash, or how easy is this? Lease for as low as $169 a month.
There you have it.
Here I have it. Gillian McGhee of Hi Ho and Turnspit, are we ready?
I'm ready.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Okay, so we are live, and we encourage, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, we encourage you to come out and hang out. OUTDrejas, they're waiting in the wings. They brought a harp. They're going to be performing live.
There's going to be a harp, guys.
We're crossing a huge threshold. This is a milestone for Car Con Carne. We have a harp. But this is also a big milestone because this is your second appearance on Car Con Carne.
Yes.
Now, generally speaking, this podcast is food-based. We eat and talk and we perform because we're in a brand new
beautiful
CX-5 that we don't want to mar, malign, or ruin. There is no food. So, Gillian, if we were to be eating right now, what would you be eating? What would your menu choice be?
I wasn't prepared for that question. I don't know. Do you know, we had like a holiday party. I work over at Cobra Lounge at Ashland and Lake. Come say hi. We have good beers and stuff. But we had a holiday party, and one of my coworkers made this like super fantastic like shaved Brussels sprout salad that I can't stop thinking about. And I'm not like a big Brussels sprouts fan, but it was that good. You know what I mean? I
wanted to hate Brussels sprouts for years.
Yes, yeah, totally.
But the secret for me, and I know as a vegetarian this doesn't work for you, but
the bacon.
Bacon makes Brussels sprouts something that
most vegetables, yeah, digestible. Yeah, palatable. But yeah, that Brussels sprout salad has been, yeah.
So if we were eating right now for Car Con Carne, you'd be enjoying some Brussels sprouts.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Delicious and healthy. I'm open to anything. But let's talk about you, Gillian McGhee. Here you are, Hi Ho. In the car today, you're performing Hi Ho music.
Yeah.
I know that's where your roots are. I've come to think of you more recently as Gillian McGhee of Turnspit.
Yes.
Which is a band that's achieved some renown locally. But today you're is this like a split personality thing with you?
You know, Hi Ho existed before Turnspit, and that was when I was in college. I kind of separated myself from my music because I didn't have the capacity to like do well in school and like start a career and also create. My mental health could not handle all of those things happening at the same time with the different stressors in my life and just like going to school and stuff. So it was like at the end, my last year at Loyola, I started, I've decided to record like an EP that came out in March of 2014. And that was the first time that I had ever released solo music. I was in like a punk band in high school and stuff. And it was through Hi Ho and like playing out locally that I found Jason, who is like my partner in crime in Turnspit. And we played like a solo show together and then had, you know, just a bunch of mutual friends and really loved each other's music. And then decided to start the band, and the band took off in a way that we did not kind of expect. So I've continued to play Hi Ho, and I put out a split a year later in 2015 with a couple of friends. But Hi Ho, as soon as Turnspit took off, Hi Ho took a back seat. Oh my God, I'm literally in the back seat right now. I took a figurative and literal back seat in my life. So, and I really viewed Hi Ho as a way to push the band forward instead of a way to, keep myself and my solo art alive, I started playing Turnspit songs solo at my Hi Ho shows. And yeah, and I don't think that was like a mistake or anything, but I was, just putting 100% of my creative, energy into this band that I, didn't think was going to be anything more than just like a fun jam thing. And then we started getting some really amazing opportunities, and you have to kind of shift your priorities and where you're going to, put your energy out. And so I decided to do that with Turnspit. And over the last year, I've kind of come back and done another shift, and I think it's time to spend a little bit more time on me again. So, and just focus on music, creating in a way that I haven't before, and try and, any way that I can, like singing a song with some friends on stage, or like doing backing vocals, or I'm really trying to like make this next year about me being like a musician and, songwriter.
Because we're at that end of the year period where you kind of think about
yes,
how to roll out the next 12 months, how to organize your life, and that sounds like where you're at, this kind of introspective moment, this inflection point.
Yes.
But Desire Paths, the Turnspit album, which came out a year ago.
Yeah,
almost.
February, this past February.
Really, a lot of acclaim. It's a really good album.
We've been getting on like a bunch of end of year lists, like top 10 best records of the year, and that has been really, really cool and awesome. We were somebody's number one, and that was, when people write about like this album matters for these reasons, and it's all the reasons that you wanted to create in the first place, like that is pretty validating. We all want to say that we just do it to do it, but and because we need to, because we're artists or whatever, but getting that kind of, having somebody recognize what you're doing and really understand it at like the, deepest level is something that is really cool.
Well, sure, you want people to react to your music the way you react to music as a fan. When you were growing up, you want to have that emotional connection.
Totally, yeah. I'm an emotional person, so that's very much important for me. Yeah, one of the things about this year, one of the coolest moment of my entire life happened this year when I got to sing on stage with Rise Against, because Turnspit opened for them, and that was, yeah, seriously, like the most insane moment of my entire life. And I I sobbed for like 20 minutes afterwards, because my body went from complete like highest adrenaline I'd ever had in my entire life to like totally depleted, and then just realizing what actually just happened in my life.
I think very early on when I met you, you kind of announced yourself as a huge...
Well, because you said Tim's name wrong, and that's, I was like, it's...
Oh my God, you remember everything.
Yes, I do. But no, yeah, as a Chicago punk kid, you just they were hugely influential for me. My first tattoo was Rise Against and stuff. But anyway, that was just an aside. It's been like a really amazing year for Turnspit, opening for Rise Against being like the highlight of my year. We put out a really great record, but the back end stuff, like we broke ties with our record label. A lot of things fell through. A lot of opportunities that we were like hoping to get didn't pan out. And half the band quit in May. So there's just been like a lot of where I thought, at the beginning of the year, Turnspit was something that was going to be like this very solid thing in my life, that I had put all of this, stock in, that was going to be there in the way that I needed it to. And then that didn't happen. You kind of have to look back and like renegotiate, like what can I do with this opportunity that obviously like means so much to me, and then what can I do for me that's going to sustain me and maybe like allow me to keep doing this in a way that I wasn't before, Well,
I think the first big step for you is obviously playing inside a car.
Yes.
Before the holidays. Clearly.
Yeah, in a Mazda dealership.
In a Mazda CX-5.
This might, who knows, but this might be Rise Against for me for this year.
I wouldn't be surprised. But this car is super comfortable. This car was almost designed for acoustic performances.
So solid. The acoustics in here.
Exactly. They lend themselves to a Hi Ho performance.
Yeah.
But I should mention there are some Turnspit gigs on the books. Speaking of you with an acoustic guitar, you're playing G-Man next Saturday, the 29th.
29th, yeah. So that's going to be a Turnspit acoustic performance. We normally play full band and rock out, but we had other bandmates weren't available. So Jason and I are going to play, acoustic with Telethon, which is an awesome band as well. So I'm excited. That'll be like the last show of the year. And then we're also playing Ian's Party on January 4th, full band, which is a Friday at either Sub T or Chop Shop. We're still trying to work out the details.
And there are only 600 bands playing that this year.
Yeah, it's a lot of bands, but it's also a super fun weekend. And then the next day we're going to be up in Grand Rapids at the Pyramid Scheme with the Lippies, who just came to town and are like back in action after being inactive for a couple of years. They just played The War on Christmas with the Lawrence Arms, and I got to sing with them as well, so that was super fun. We're going to do that again, the next night.
All right, so you've got a lot of stuff going on. We started the podcast with this. Explain the knockoff sweater you're wearing.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to slightly move. Here, you can see it very well here.
Here, show that phone too.
Oh, hello, phone. Here is my cute little sweater. So I've actually had this sweater since I was 5 years old. My grandma, it's pretty insane. It didn't fit me. Everyone's like, were you fat 5-year-old? And I'm like, no, idiot. Like, who says that? I wore it to work, and like so many people were stupid. Anyway, so I got it when I was like 5, and it obviously like drowned me at that point. But my grandma, she was like, loved to like sew and do like little, projects and stuff. So, I'm going to move in a second so you can see the detail. But so this was like a knockoff, like Goodwill, something like, little Dalmatian sweater. But she used her hot glue gun and literally like put all of these little like beads on it and like hot glue gunned the collar with like beads. They're almost all gone at this point because the sweater is like 20 years old. And then she like sewed on these little beads, and then she took a actual legitimate 101 Dalmatians. I had the barrettes for like my hair. She ripped it off the metal part and like glued it on.
Nice.
So I have some OG
oh my gosh.
101 Dalmatian swag, but the rest of the sweater is like a knockoff. So, but it's real cute. Paws. I don't know. But it's like lasted the test of time,
It looks stunning on you.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of you and apparel, explain the Turnspit t-shirts with your face on them.
Yeah. So one day, my sister, who I think she's 18. This was like maybe a year or two ago. She was like 16 or 17. She was like going through an old digital camera, which is like almost like going through like a box of photos, or like she was on the computer or something, like looking up. She found a bunch of old pictures. And there was this one of me. I remember the day. I think I was maybe. I think I was in like my freshman year of high school. I had my eyebrow piercing, so that helps like gauge when it was. But we were at Navy Pier, and it was like a family outing day with my mom and my siblings and I just like was so irritated to be there because I'm like the oldest by 5 years, and then my siblings are all like 2 years apart, so they were like little, and I was basically like helping wrangle them with my mother. And there's this picture of me just like so over it, just like so, and this eye roll look, and my sister sent me a Snapchat of that image, and she wrote emo ho on it, and I was like, oh my god. And then I like posted it to Facebook, and I was like, this is what I used to look like, very very real moment that was captured several years ago, and thought everybody would get a kick out of it like as a Facebook post. And then somebody wrote back patch, and I was like, we should make, and everybody was like, oh my god, make it a t-shirt. So we made it a t-shirt, and it's really funny. And I get texts from people randomly, which is pretty cool, and they're like, somebody's here with your face on their shirt. God. And then I also met somebody, he was wearing the shirt, and I was in the bar. I was at Burlington for a random show over the summer, and I was like, hey, that's me. And he's like, no. And I was like,
crazy.
Yeah, that is me. That is my band. That is my face. Hi. And he was like, no way. And I remember I took a picture with him and stuff. He was like stunned, but it was super silly. I was just like, this person is wearing my face and doesn't know who I am.
That is amazing.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask David from OUTDrejas is outside. Is it too loud inside the dealership?
No.
Okay, we're good?
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
I don't want to make the salespeople angry.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want OUTDrejas to be angry. They're going to perform in here in a little bit. All right, so Gillian McGhee, Hi Ho. We talked about the Turnspit gigs. As you are introspective, looking toward 2019, what does that mean for you and Hi Ho? Are you recording? Are you going to do a lot more solo acoustic stuff?
Yeah, so the big thing that I wanted to achieve this year was get all of the music that I have recorded and out onto all the streaming platforms, which I have done. So it's on like Spotify, Apple Music, Napster, for those still using Napster. But I also just recorded, I'm going to play the song Whiskey Sheets, and it is coming out as a full band song, even though it is just, started as just me and an acoustic guitar. I have plans to hopefully do a Hi Ho full length this year. I have a lot of material and I'm just not sure exactly how I want to release it, whether I want to put it all together in one record. For me so far, most of my releases have been a very hard timestamp and this is a moment in my life that is captured on this. And because I've got a backlog, I'm not sure if I want to put everything together because I've never done that before or just kind of figure out. But, I made the decision to book some studio time and ask some friends to help me out. And so the song Whiskey Sheets, I literally an hour ago got the final mix of, and so I'm hoping to release that on the first of the year. And just as a way to kind of kickstart the year on the right foot, moving forward with my solo stuff. I'm also really, really excited to be going to LA, and I'm doing a West Coast solo tour with some of the women from Bad Cop, which and the Bomb Pops, which are both fat wreck punk bands.
Yeah.
And we're doing it's mostly women, basically not men, doing this tour up the coast. We're calling it the Vega Bonnies tour.
Cute. Okay.
So, and that's, I had found tickets to LA as a Spirit Airlines credit card holder, James. I don't know if you know this about me, but
you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So it only pays to fly at off-peak times, and I just so happened to look, and it was $26 round trip to LA. So I was like, I will either play a couple shows or just vacation, whatever, in the middle of February, February 6th through the 12th. So I was like, this sounds like a good thing. I will do this. This is less than a dinner somewhere, around the street from my house.
Now you have to wear everything you want to pack, because otherwise you'll have to pay an extra $50 or $75.
Oh, totally. But I travel pretty light, and it's going to be warm there, so I won't have a billion layers to bring. So anyway, and I hit up Jenny from Bad Cop to see if she wanted to play a show or two, and she came back and said she's been wanting to do this kind of tour project with a bunch of women, and they made it work around my schedule. So
I love it.
It's going to be, I think 6 shows in 6 days, and then I fly out, and
that's fantastic for you.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited to be doing that, and I'm hoping that will kind of, the connections I make out there, and I'm hoping to do maybe an East Coast tour with Mike Frazier, who's on AF Records, really great songwriter from Virginia, and just kind of just hit the road and do as much as I can and network as much as I can and play my music for people and sing along, and it's, there's nothing like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so you feel ready to perform inside the brand new 2019 Mazda CX-5?
Yes, I am. I am ready.
You brought your guitar, a really nice looking guitar too.
Thank you.
Let's get you all organized here. If you're watching,
this is a delicate situation.
It is. We have everything very carefully rigged. You have to be really deliberate as you maneuver that guitar around. This could throw off the entire space-time continuum.
It could, yeah, hold on.
Good thing we have that door open.
Yeah, could I actually could you just flip this for me? Thank you.
This is great. We have Carl from Autobarn helping out here.
This is my stage hand.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. We'd be lost without him.
All right, okay. So.
All right, so you're going to play Whiskey Sheets.
Yes, this is a song that I just recorded. And again, sorry. There we go.
All right, so if you're watching on Facebook Live, this is Hi Ho. This is Gillian McGhee. She's in the backseat. We are live, 1015 Chicago Avenue. We're at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. We'll be here for a while because when Gillian's done, OUTDrejas is going to pile into the CX-5 and perform. It's just nonstop bands, live music right here on Chicago Avenue. Come by and watch. You honestly can't believe how this works until you see it in action.
Lots of people walking by and smiling, like, what is happening?
And kind of scared, too. Like, I don't understand this.
It's all right.
All right, so Gillian McGhee about to perform live. I'm going to re-angle the camera
There we go.
no one has to see my bearded mug. And I'm going to turn my mic off and go for it.
All right, the song's called Whiskey Sheets.
Hold up inside beneath these whiskey sheets, spilled by a boy who bleeds the same. I still see you in my dreams some nights. Something inside of me has changed, and I'm on the mend. Yeah, I'm on the mend. And I've been seeing you around town with a new girl by your side, doing better than I thought, but she does her makeup better than mine. I guess that's alright. Keep telling myself that's alright. I don't wanna be with you, but it still stinks deep down inside. You don't wanna be with me, but when I see you I feel alive, and that look in your eyes, ooh, it's in mine. Hold up inside beneath these whiskey sheets, you know they've been getting late. I've been having myself a time, just going out and getting laid. I guess that's okay. I keep telling myself that's okay. I don't wanna be with you, but it still stinks deep down inside. And you don't wanna be with me, but when I see you I feel alive, and that look in your eyes, ooh baby, it's in mine. Hold up inside beneath these whiskey sheets, thinking about the life we made. It's not only in my dreams some nights. I wish you'd be back here with me, beneath these whiskey sheets.
Cool.
I'm going to need a minute. That was really good, Gillian.
Thank you.
Wow, really powerful stuff. Giorgio just checked in on the Facebook Live. He says, this is awesome. I agree.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, Giorgio. All right, so again, you are Hi Ho. You're on all the streaming
Yes, H-I space H-O. Everybody wants to hyphenate it. I don't know what it is, but there's no hyphen. Let me say it here.
And I'm sure I'm not the first to say it, but because it is the holiday season.
I know. Hi ho ho.
Stole my thunder on that. Hi ho ho ho. I've been waiting 30 minutes to get that out.
Sorry, James.
30 minutes. Give me a dad
quicker
joke.
with your dad jokes.
All right, Gillian, thank you. Have a great holiday. Thank you for doing this
Yeah.
at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. Again, those Turnspit dates, we could see a G-Man on Saturday, and then after that, happy holidays.
Thank you. You too, James.
And if you're watching on Facebook Live, we're not done. I'd say in the next 20 minutes, Outrageous will be piling right into the CX-5 on Chicago Avenue inside the showroom, the floor of the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. So keep an eye out on Facebook Live. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Gillian.
Bye.
I gotta thank you first before we begin doing the Facebook Live and recording this podcast. Not every band would say, sure, we'll do the Santa hats and snowflakes filter for the live recording. Not every band would. Outrageous would. So thank you.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. If you're watching on Facebook Live, if you're listening to the podcast, this is Car Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, where we're recording right now. We are literally inside the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. We're in this showcase area of the showroom floor. We're in a brand new Mazda CX-5. Outrageous is here there are 2 guitars in the CX-5 and a harp. Today we have crossed an important threshold. We've hit a milestone. There is an actual harp that'll be part of a podcast recording.
It's blue.
It is blue. So we're in the CX-5, and they have lots of CX-5s here at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Up to $2,000 customer cash if you want to get your hands on this. The tech in this is stunning. The CX-5 includes the SkyActiv turbo engine, the iActiv all-wheel drive. Those are standard. Like I said, $2,000 customer cash. You can lease one of these for as low as $169 a month. Outrageous? Imagine the gear you could stack up.
A lot of gear.
Yeah. I mean, you can go from gig to gig in one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You throw all the drums.
All the drums. This would be great. Yeah, I saw you last night at Black Sheep. You should have been in a Mazda CX-5.
That was our mistake.
It was your mistake, and you should have got it here from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Something that was pointed out to me, Xylon has been added to this Mazda CX-5. What is Xylon? I hear you asking, Outrageous.
Yeah, what is that?
I'll tell you. The X-Microbe interior protects against oil stains, food stains, beverage stains, vinyl fading, accidental rips, and burns. It prevents stains and odor created or caused by bacteria. This is good news if you have a band in the car. Microbes, mold, mildew, fungi, and algae.
You know, my girlfriend spilled milk all over my car last week, so I should have had...
You should have had Xylon.
Should have had some Xylon in there.
It sounds like a space alien, but no, it makes the car protected, microbe-free, and that is what's happening, or that is what is on this Mazda CX-5. Okay, so right before we started, you took on a challenge. Do you think you can do the theme song of the podcast?
Oh, man. I can do a bad version of it if you'd like.
That's the only kind I want.
I forgot the words. How does it start?
It's Car Con Carne.
It's car con carne.
Let's eat in the car.
Ooh, it's eat in the car.
It's car con carne.
car con carne. Here is your star of the show. It's James Van Ozone. None, it's solos.
Yeah.
We'll cadence here.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. That's how every show should begin. It wasn't, you put your own stink on it. I wouldn't say it was accurate to the original, but you kind of owned it in your own outrageous way. Outrageous, if you're just listening to the podcast, the spelling is a little confusing. It's OUTDREJAS because your last name is Drages.
That's true. That is my last name.
So it's outrageous.
It's
it works on multiple
outrageous.
levels.
It's
It's fun with words. Car Con Carne is a food podcast. We eat in the car, we talk. Sometimes bands join me and perform. Because we're sitting here at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, we're sitting right inside the dealership, 1015 Chicago Avenue. We can't bring food in this car. They have to sell this thing. And I can't be trusted with food. So because there is no food, if we were to eat in the car, if this were a fully realized podcast, what would you be eating right now?
Clams.
No, stop it. You would not.
I love clams. It's like my probably third favorite food after ice cream and steak. Blue cheese is up there, too. I'm a weird dude. That's why I'm a musician.
No one likes blue cheese.
Oh, crumbled blue? I got a crumbled blue cheeseburger last night. It was like the most amazing thing I've had in the last at least 3 days.
I'll even have it with a steak.
Yeah.
How about you two?
I'd go with grilled cheese.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with a good grilled cheese, right?
I say ice cream.
Ice cream. All right, so if we were doing this with food, that's what we'd be having: blue cheese, we'd be having ice cream, and steak.
With clams.
With clams. So we're spending the weekend together, really. Last night I was with you all at Black Sheep in Orland. You opened up a show we did out there with Lucky Boys and Blood People. What a fun live show you do.
Oh, that was so much fun last night. That was one of the most fun shows we've ever played.
But here's the challenge I find with OUTDrejas. I don't know if I can explain what you do. I had that challenge. I introduced you on stage last night. You're over the top. You like to shred. There's a party element to what you do. There's an earnest element to what you do. I have a really hard time pigeonholing what OUTDrejas is as a band.
We're a rock and roll band.
We put a lot of energy into what we do.
There's all sorts of different types of rock and roll, and we try to use most of them.
You did bust out a few covers last night. I know you've busted out the Johnny Cash cover before.
You know what? We actually recorded that with Dave Rowe, Johnny Cash's actual bass player.
Did you really?
He played stand-up bass, and he was super cool. He actually played a bass line that Tyler wrote for his song.
That's amazing.
So that'll be coming out next year. We're releasing a song on the 1st of every month in 2019.
I love that strategy. That's kind of the new model, right? You don't need to bust out a full album.
No.
The rules have completely changed.
Very much so.
You can kind of release things a la carte, and I think that's the way people consume music.
I agree. It's a lot less commitment to go, I'm going to listen to one new thing I don't know, because you got to get out of the – sometimes it's easy to get into, like, the habits of the music you already know and love. So it's – I think it's a little easier to get people to listen to one or two songs at a time anyway. So
I agree. So speaking of covers and that Johnny Cash thing, you also did a couple of popular TV themes. You did Inspector Gadget last night when I saw you. Mm-hmm. And the theme to The Office, which everyone loves the theme to The Office, I've come to learn that you, David Drejas, are a huge Office fan to the point where you just joined an Office Trivia League.
It's true. I'm
super nerdy.
I'm pretty
Super
good.
nerdy.
I'm pretty good. My girlfriend, though, is like the queen of Office. I mean, we probably have at least 3 Office references per day made just randomly always. So we've gone and competed before, and we've actually won like a few $100 just competing in Office trivia. So we figured let's take it a step up and let's try to win the $2,000 prize. Let's see if we can pull it off. So. And it's nerdy, but I'm also I gotta own it. I mean, I'm a software engineer when I'm not playing music, so it's the definition of nerdy. So
I don't like rewatching stuff. I always feel like time is scarce enough as it is. If I have the time to commit to watching a TV show or a movie, I want to watch something I haven't seen before. That said, I decided to start rewatching The Office recently. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, those shows still hold up.
Yeah. Oh, it's the perfect background noise if you're not wanting to just sit there and commit your full attention span to the TV.
I started rewatching with the season 2 opener, which is the Dundies.
Uh-huh.
And I was guffawing as I was watching at home because it's hilarious.
I actually got my girlfriend a Best Girlfriend Dundee pretty early on in our relationship. So that's kind of explains a lot about that.
That kind of sealed the deal.
That's when she fell for me.
So Ani's back there with the harp. You have a classical background, right?
Yeah, I do.
So how did this all come together, David Drejas? This unit?
So the origin of the band,
the secret origin.
Secret origin.
I want to keep it nerdy.
Oh, so I wanted to be in a rock band. I always thought it'd be fun to be in a rock band, and I just for whatever reason couldn't find a band for over 10 years. Went through college and just. When I got out of college, I went, all right, I'm going to join Craigslist. I'm going to find myself a band. So I found a metal band. They needed a bassist. I'd never played bass before, so I said, all right, I'm going to go buy a bass, and I'm going to join this metal band. And then that's when you start gigging. You start meeting people. You kind of just got to get out there and do it. You got to network. You have to, meet the venues, meet everybody. And then from there, we were playing. It's called the Forge now in Joliet, but it used to be called Mojo's back in the day.
Right.
And they let me book a fake band. I was like, hey, I have another band. It's called I don't know, OUTDrejas. And can we play? And so they booked this band that didn't exist.
So they called your bluff.
Well, yeah. So I had a month to find a band and come up with a half hour of original material. And it was a battle of the bands, and we took second, which I thought was pretty cool. My best friend growing up, Stuart Graham, and his brother Tristan, they got into it, and we found ourselves opening for Puddle of Mud. And then you always try to meet all the bands you play with and listen to them and learn about them. And so one of those bands called the Untouchables, I'm actually meeting up with the guitar player actually joined us in our band in a little bit. But I'm meeting him later today. But anyway, they were playing House of Blues, and then they were like, hey, you guys want to open for us? And then we was like, wow, I guess we're actually a band. And so we were playing a show in Valparaiso at a place called Big Shots, which is no longer around, but was a really cool place. And Ani was there, and I gave her a CD, and she liked it, and she came to practice, and she already knew all the songs, and that's like the key. Like
that seals the deal.
It seals the deal. Like,
yeah.
And then they have their own awesome little awkward love story how they met, because even though they're dating, Tyler and Ani. So we came up with a new name last night. We're going to call him Tiny. T-Y for the Tyler.
Oh, brilliant.
And then O-N-N-I-E is Ani's name. So Tiny that's their couple, their power chord couple name.
Yeah, pop culture lovers love their portmanteaus.
So so when, we've had different members that have had to step away because it's a lot of time and stuff in music. And so when our last bass player, had to step away, we were actually coming back from NAMM in the car in Nashville, and Tyler was in the car. And
Okay, hang on. I thought you were saying you were coming back. You sounded like a veteran in the 1960s. Coming back from NAMM.
The North American music merchants. Merchants. Big trade show.
Coming back from NAMM, no one celebrated when OUTDrejas came home. There were no parades.
It's super. There's just gear galore, and it's a fun time if you like messing around and making noise. So that's how our current lineup. Basically, Tyler's old band dissolved, so we stole their drummer, and we
as you do.
Yeah, so stole their bassist. So we're basically half of that band, and you're just a bunch of misfits here. So
well, the way you described putting the band together ties back to something we got into a conversation last night at Black Sheep, building a scene. Mm-hmm. Like I'm thinking about you going on Craigslist looking for band members, and you had a very honest question. You asked it of me last night. How do we build a better scene or a tighter, more
right? And
this is something that really weighs on you. Like you want to kind of lead the charge almost.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of my favorite bands, you hear about how they kind of came up with other bands they were friends with, and you'd play, everyone play shows together, and it was just and they were friends with a lot of the people in the crowd, and it just was like this big, happy love fest basically every show, and that's.
Is that not the case now?
Well, it's the case, but I think it'd be cool if we could make it more the case. Then that's what's so cool about last night playing with Lucky Boys. They're very much, I might consider them the leaders of the scene right now. They really have been doing it for a long time. They've been really just cool. I remember we opened for them one other time in Valparaiso at Big Shots, I was saying, and I had guitar trouble. It was amateur hour, and I had guitar trouble, and I didn't bring a backup. So Adam let me use his guitar, and we're just the opening band, so that's the kind of stuff that Lucky Boys. Mm-hmm. That they do that kind of. It's super cool. And it'd be, definitely. I feel like, we definitely look up to them, and I'm sure a lot of other bands and people do, and they set a good example, and we're trying to kind of do our own version of that.
I love that, and we talked about this too. Back in the day, Lucky Boys they were instrumental in building, if nothing else, that suburban scene.
Right.
And they were exemplary in the way they kind of built that out and built this mutually supportive
The boys from
community.
from Naperville and Downers Grove.
Yeah, I mean, they were fantastic at it. All right, so as we're wrapping up 2018, heading into 2019, you had that great show last night. What's ahead in the new year?
You know, we don't have a lot of gigs booked. We don't really have any we're even allowed to talk about yet. So we're open. You know, go up on our page and message us. We very much open for gigs. We have a song coming out, like I said, every month. We have 15 music videos coming out. So
Seriously?
Yeah. So we had so much fun with the first one, Promise. You know, I think
And that right there, that song Promise that you just mentioned, love that song.
Thank you.
It's anthemic, it's empowering.
Thanks for playing it so much on your show, by the way.
It's got a big fat hook to it. Love it. It sounded great last night, too.
Well, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, so that one, you know, that's definitely been probably the most success we've had was the video. I mean, it's if you add up all the social media, we're just shy of the 200,000 mark of people who've seen it, and that's way better than anything else we'd ever done.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
So, like, we figured let's just keep making videos. So we made they're all being edited. They're already shot. Like, we did some crazy. Like, for Dayman, we dressed up like the characters, and for, you know, we have all sorts of fun. Tyler built, like, a 30-foot tall heart out of wood, and we, like, played in front of it, and when it was, like, frosty cold, and we were trying to light it on fire for the video. Like, so there's all sorts of fun, you know, it should be interesting video. We did a slow-mo where, like, part of the video is, like, me breaking a TV with a sledgehammer, and, like, I think Ani took a bat and, like, what did you hit?
Lava lamp.
Lava lamp. Yeah, so you can tell all the aggression that Ani has all the time. So she,
yeah.
you know.
It's always the quiet one.
So we definitely had a lot of fun with these videos, and, you know, we're not really sure when we're going to release them exactly because, you know, we're still finishing them, the content. But it'll be next year, I'm sure, and we have our songs going to come out on the 1st of every month. So new month, new outrageous song is what we're hoping everyone thinks.
Love that strategy, and I've seen it done before, and I think it's really effective, and I think that is the new model. That's it.
Well, thank you.
All right, you guys were great last night. You guys are great here. You're so kind to join me here
Thanks for having us.
at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. I would love it if you played a song.
Sure.
This is, again, unprecedented music with a harp in a car. We're in a gorgeous Mazda CX-5 right now. The seats are comfortable too. I mean, if you're going to rock out, you should do so.
This is I'm very comfy. I forgot we're in a car because I'm so comfortable right now. So
It's transported you to a different level of comfort.
it's not only going to transport you physically, but it's going to transport you mentally into your happy place.
Right, we're really on a spiritual journey.
It's true.
I think you can safely say.
Yes.
Right now. Okay, so thank you for watching on Facebook Live. And if you're listening on carquincarney.com, please tell a friend. This is Outrageous performing live as we kind of wrap up 2018 here. What song are you going to play?
It's called We'll Fight the Fight. It's not out yet. It's going to be coming out. It's one of the songs, one of the 12 that's coming out next year. But anyway, this song, it's, you know, when the studio version comes out, it's pretty cool. My all-time favorite band is George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Really?
All time. Since they got me into rock and roll when I was like 6 years old. And
I'll give you Gear Jammer.
oh yeah,
Love that one.
oh yeah. And so Buddy Leach, their saxophone player, was like nice enough to record this song with us. So I
Wow.
mean, you know, if I could have any, I would think it's just a huge shout out to him. Like, was super cool, and he did such a good job. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff you play music for, like record songs with your favorite artists. you know?
Absolutely.
So that's been like unreal kind of a thing. So it's so anyway, you know, we Ani did harp on the studio version too. But you know, this is the acoustic version of it. So we'll fight the fight.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to do something crazy here. I'm using a lav mic, and because we're one mic short, I'm going to hover the lav mic over the guitar hole. We'll see how that works out. So, all right, give me a second here. It is Outrageous performing live in a Mazda CX-5 at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. I'm going to tilt things away from me because you don't need to see my face. Here we go.
All right. Everybody ready? Yeah. On your marks. Here we go. just leaves a jar of temptations and now desire. These choices in my life are my battles, and I take a side. We'll fight the fight, but it's a roller coaster. I'm recruiting you to help me take them over. Cruel intentions will never stand a chance if we join together and we advance. When I don't know which way to go, my conscience leads me home. I never feel alone, and I know that I'll make it home. We'll fight the fight, but it's a roller coaster. I'm recruiting you to help me take them over. Cruel intentions will never stand a chance if we join together and we advance. We will win this fight once more, even if the devil himself is knocking at our door. There's no giving up or giving in. We always find a way to win.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is outrageous. We are live at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. That sounded great. Thank you so much, guys and
Thanks
girl.
for having us.
Sorry, that was amazing. Can you hold up the harp a little bit for the folks at home? Look at that. Look at that little taste of heaven in the back seat. All right, and
This is our name right here.
I meant to ask you, last night when I saw you on stage, you talked about your website.
Sure.
Were you making that up?
No.
No.
Don't find a clever way to say what you're...
All right, so we're big Bears fans.
Bears.
Even a season ticket holder here with myself. And if you're a Bears fan, you don't like the Packers at all. I especially don't like them because I went to school at Marquette in Milwaukee, and I had to deal with that. And they won the Super Bowl while I was there, so I really, really don't like them. So our website is actually, if you take the letter F and you think of the most commonly used word, it's 4 letters, and it rhymes with fire truck. But anyway, firetruckthepackers.com.
You really own that domain.
I own the one I can't say. Yes.
Right, you own that.
Best $15 I ever spent.
I
Trust
feel
me.
like that would have been gone years ago.
I was pumped when it was available, and it never will be available again because I'm not letting it go.
That is brilliant.
It goes right to our music. So if you wanna see our music, it's firetruckthepackers.com.
fthepackers.com. That's
Yep,
kind of brilliant.
So
That is I got into a phase for a while where I was buying domains, like things that just amused me.
okay.
And I'd stack them up. And then 6 months down the road, I'd think, what am I ever going to do with this domain? Just clever.
We have more. I mean, thatchicagoband.com goes right
Really?
to us. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That Chicago Band.
That's a good one.
That's the one we use when we're in Wisconsin.
That's amazing. So if you want to learn more about Outrageous, fthepackers.com. That is brilliant. I doubted you. I saw you say that on stage last
Try
night.
it
I thought-
out. Try it out on your phone when we get done here. You'll go right there.
I believe you. I believe you now. I mean, you said it right here. I believe you. So thank you, Outrageous, for doing this. I also want to thank the staff here at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, who are hosting what is arguably the strangest thing they've ever done on their showroom floor, and they were very supportive and tolerant and helpful, and this was big fun. So thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for listening on Car Con Carne. Thank you for rocking Outrageous. And again, tell a friend. Car Con Carne, have a great holiday.